Well, it's Election Day in Washington on the Republican side, but the real political battle going on right now is on the Democratic side. More on that in a moment. Washington's primary today is different from others. Voters have either mailed in their ballots or have until 11 p.m. Eastern to drop them off at collection sites statewide. 44 delegates are at stake in the GOP primary. For Democrats, none. Washington's Democratic Party relies instead on the outcome of the caucuses held in March, which Bernie Sanders won. Sanders is fired up today because Hillary Clinton has broken her agreement to debate him one last time before California votes on June 7th. She declined Fox News' invitation last night in order to, quote, compete hard in the remaining primary states. Fox News issued a statement saying, quote, we're disappointed, especially given that the race is still contested, and she had previously agreed to a final debate before the California primary. Now, Bernie Sanders says her refusal is downright insulting.
I was disturbed but not surprised to hear a few hours ago that Secretary Clinton has backed out of the debate. I think it is a little bit insulting to the people of California, our largest state, that she is not prepared to have a discussion with me about how she will help the Californians address the major crises that we face.
And in 2008, Hillary was outraged when then-Senator Obama wouldn't debate her a final time. Listen very closely to what she said in this clip.
This is the most important job in the world. It's the toughest job in the world. You should be willing to campaign for every vote. You should be willing to debate anytime, anywhere. I think it's an interesting juxtaposition where we find ourselves. And, you know, I have been willing to do all of that during the entire process.
That was 8 years ago. Things changed?
Well, certainly. I think here's the thing. For her team, you know, yesterday we were talking about the fact that when she says she's going to be the nominee, based on the math, she is going to be the nominee. So I think that her team has a point when they say, why would we debate? Because it's not worth it. We don't need the risk. But I actually take the opposite tack. Because she's going to be the nominee, you can take the risk, and without risk, there's no reward. So I think she could have taken him on to a bigger, broader audience and probably gotten a pretty big bump out of it if she had agreed to do the Fox News debate. I wish she would have said yes.
Greg, good tactic, good strategy, hiding behind the last few delegates.
Very rude to Fox News to decline an invitation without even coming up with an excuse, like I have to hem my pantsuit, or I need to go through Vincent Foster's trash. At least have something that you can rely on. I mean, it's like she didn't even bother. They didn't even give her the date, and she declined. By the way, she's smart. Her slogan, is the less you see of me, the better, because everybody, when they hear her talk, they go like this. And Trump's secret weapon really is Hillary. You know, she is the contrast that sells Trump. So the more you see of her, the better Trump looks.
What do you say, KG?
Yeah, I mean, I'm disappointed because, you know, it seems cowardly to me. You should be able to stand up to anybody. You want to stand up to world leaders? You can't stand up to a socialist from Vermont. I mean, what's wrong with you? Get up there and make your case and show people that you really want to earn it, that they should choose you over Bernie Sanders. And for those independent women and other people out there, like, come on, like, pull it together. Earn the vote. Don't miss an opportunity, especially with an audience of that scale and the skill of our moderators, quite frankly, to answer good questions, prove yourself, show us you're worthy of being commander-in-chief, and it's not too late to dry clean your best pantsuit and change your mind.
She should have said she had an event with veterans.
And then didn't have one?
Yeah.
Does this also open up Bernie Sanders, give him another shot at Hillary Clinton? She's afraid of me. She doesn't want to do this.
Who are you talking about? She's beating this guy from one coast to the other.
So why won't she debate him?
Well, that's the problem. I mean, obviously, I don't think it's about Bernie Sanders, because I don't think that's the issue. She has the nomination, as we all know, in hand.
It's about Fox?
So and partly it's about Fox, and I don't think that was a smart decision, though. But I think the real problem here is that she's right now focused on Donald Trump, not Bernie Sanders. And I think this was an opening that would give her an opportunity to speak to the general election audience, to speak to people in a way, as Kimberly was saying, facing strong general election type questions from Fox commentators and Fox moderators that I think, as I said, I thought the ratings would have been out the roof. She would have gotten lots of attention. I disagree with Greg. I don't think people like her less the more they see of her. I do think that there's strong contrast between Donald Trump, who just goes everywhere in the media, gets tons of free media, versus Hillary Clinton, who I think is more strategic and considerate, you know, and trying to figure out what's to her advantage and not her advantage. Donald Trump just goes out there and does it, and he gets love for the fact that he is so unleashed.
The other reason I thought that she would do it is because when Bret Baier did the town hall with her, maybe 2.5 months ago, she did very well out of that, and the audience responded to it. She and Bret seemed to have a good rapport, so I think it was a missed opportunity on their part.
I agree.
You know, let me play devil's advocate a little bit. I would love to have seen it too. Would love to have seen the debate. Would love to have had it here. I would love to see our moderators ask the questions. That would have been fantastic. However, I'm an athlete. I'm a sports guy. Juan, you've got the playoffs locked up. Are you going to choose to play one more game with your starting quarterback or not?
No, and that's why you see most of the time what you see is people in the lead, as Obama did in 08 with Hillary, as you just showed us. They say, no, you know, it's over, stop. But again, I think this is such a unique contest. And you know, in sports, one of the reasons that people are leery of those situations, they say, oh, your quarterback could get hurt. Right.
Yeah.
But on the other hand,
get hurt.
guess what?
No.
You can get stale. You can
No,
get
but you
stale
can
by
get
not
hurt.
playing, and then you go into the game against somebody that's hungry.
By Megyn and Brett, it's presumably asking the questions that they weren't going to get asked by the other network.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I think it would have been fun.
Well, that would have been good, too, to see her try and field those questions. I would love to have seen it.
I think it would have been good for her to be able to stop the glorification of Bernie Sanders. It's basically like, this guy is a socialist, right? And she could have painted the pictures, like, let's go to the tape, run some video of Venezuela, or whatever. I mean, she could have been creative and really hit it out of the park.
But that's the thing. Nothing new would have happened. You think Bernie would have brought up the emails? No. He would have brought up Benghazi? No. He wouldn't have brought up anything new. What's the difference between them at this point? She can't call him out for being a socialist. He's pulled her to the left of Hugo Chavez. All they would do there is sit there and agree with each other.
She's just putting off the inevitable, though. She will have to face these questions, and it's going to come at her hard like a freight train. Is she going to be, like, ready? She's got to take the field, too, right, to do some, like, practice. And so far, she hasn't had much, and she hasn't done very well. I don't think she can afford to miss out on an opportunity like this, because whereas Donald Trump took down 16, boom, 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 she still hasn't taken down this guy, and that's pretty sad, because this was supposed to be, like, the Manchurian candidate. Aw, Martin O'Malley, rest in peace. But she can't take down this guy. He's still standing, playing rope-a-dope. Like, what's happening
Stay
here?
right there, KG. Donald Trump's been overtaking Hillary Clinton in some new general election polls, and her allies in the mainstream media blame Bernie.
The question Hillary Clinton faces this late spring is, what does she have to do to fight her way out of this two-front war with Trump and Bernie? Because until she does, it's hard to see how she begins the slow, necessary climb in personal popularity that will get her to victory come November.
He's hurting her now, not just broadly with the electorate, but hurting her with the members with her own party members, where she was just as popular as him 6 months ago. Now she's appreciably less popular with Democrats.
Is Senator Sanders going to stop delivering destructive attacks that hurt Democrats that we need to elect up and down the ticket? Is he going to really try to support the party?
However, Bernie Sanders says he's helping Democrats by staying in the race.
Do you concede that you are harming the party by staying in this? You just said it's an uphill battle.
No.
You don't
Absolutely not. I don't think I'm harming the Democratic Party. I think I'm invigorating American democracy and invigorating the Democratic Party. The establishment obviously doesn't like it. They would like us to go away and do things in the same old, same old. But you know what? The American people are tired, on the Republican side, on the Democratic side, of establishment politics.
Okay, KG. Is he hurting or helping the party?
No, he isn't. Why doesn't she be a better candidate? My gosh, is everyone that worried about her? Is she that fragile that she can't take on this Venezuelan socialism-loving guy and, like, have him go up against her? I mean, this is really kind of a sad state of affairs, isn't it? She's supposed to be the most qualified person with the biggest resume, you know, in this whole race. Yet she's not. She's cowering. It seems like she only wants to be commander-in-chief of the people that like her, that she's not trying to reach out to all Americans to earn their vote and their respect and their trust and their vote. And that's what bothers me about this. It's just ridiculous.
Juanito, it feels like the longer Bernie Sanders stays in, and he's been in this whole since the beginning, he highlights the insider-outsider, the establishment, non-establishment situation on the Democrat side, the way it's been bifurcated on the Republican side. I would say all power stay in at Bernie because you are bifurcating the Democrats, too. You're splitting that vote.
You mean you're saying that as a Republican?
As a Republican.
I
think there's a group of people who could never vote for the establishment. They could never vote for the establishment on the Dem, who may go to Donald Trump.
Well, this will go away. But what's going on is really interesting
What's going
to
away?
me. What?
What will go away?
So.
Oh, that people say, I'm a Democrat, but I'm not going to vote for Hillary. What we've seen historically is that those people come around as you approach November. That's just inevitable. But what is going on now is so interesting to me is that Bernie Sanders believes that in these last 2 weeks before California, he plans to put, pedal to the metal because he's trying to maximize his ability to influence Hillary Clinton, which is what Greg was talking about. Greg says, from his perspective, he's pushed Hillary far to the left. Today, Gerald Seib in the Wall Street Journal was talking about how, in fact, because of Bernie Sanders, Hillary can't move to the center, which is what her natural constituency would be, that she would be appealing as a moderate Democrat. Instead, she's having to play footsie with Bernie. That's why you hear Democrats saying Bernie's hurting Hillary at this juncture. Now, the thing is, I think Hillary needs to step up. I don't think that she can just be dismissive of Bernie. She wants Bernie's folks to vote for her.
Can I point out also, Dana, that she can't be dismissive of him because the platform is going to be put together by Bernie Sanders people, Hillary Clinton people, and Debbie Wasserman Schultz people. He's going to have a big say in the platform.
So I would say even beyond this election cycle, I think what Bernie Sanders is doing to the Democratic Party is much broader and deeper in the long run. And I think it will make the Democrats much harder to elect on a national level in the next few election cycles because it is so far left and the country is not there. She's not there, but she's going to have to deal with them.
Do you think that'll also trickle down to the down ticket races as well, like a lot of people think will happen on the Republican side?
I think that I'm not sure. I think one thing that could happen is that both Republicans and Democrats that are running down ticket from both of the nominees, because that race, the presidential, will be so close, neck and neck all the way, that those candidates in their state legislatures or in the House Senate seats will be able to localize their races and not make them a big national referendum for a while, maybe up until October, and that's probably best for Republicans.
Okay, Mr. Gutfeld, last thought on whether Bernie's doing the party any good or bad.
I think Bernie's got to be aware and worried that when your adversaries are telling you you're doing a great job, you're in trouble. If Eric is saying you're helping the party, you're not helping the party. You know what? Yeah, exactly. For conservatives, Hillary's the flu, and Bernie's like a really bad flu shot. It deals with Hillary, but it also makes you feel kind of sick.
All right. We'll leave it right there. The battle between Hillary and the Donald heating up with brand new attack ads.